Hello again, friends. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've just been really busy. I was going to make one when I was home for reading week, but I didn't have time because I was so busy then. I was literally seeing people every day. Anyways, my second week back, and 6 games have happened since I last made a video. Last week, if you can believe it, or 2 weeks ago. So, 2 weeks ago. So, that's a long time. So, I'm finally making another one. We lost 2 in a row, and then we've now won 4 in a row. We lost Columbus, we lost Washington, we beat Florida, we beat St. Louis, we beat Washington, and we beat Columbus. We finally beat Washington. It was close, but we finally beat them. We got a little mad there at the end and walking over. We had a great exchange. We also picked up Daniel Winnick and 2 other players during the trade deadline, which I'll talk about later. I'll do a nice little recap of the trade deadline, who I think the winners and losers were, how I think the Penguins did, etc. So look out for that in the coming days. Probably maybe by later today, tomorrow, I'd say. I'll try to do it when I can. So we played 6 games. Penguins look like they're finally in a roll. We're still 3rd in our division, which is completely ridiculous. We're only 4 points back at first, though, so it's going to be very interesting down the stretch in here. We've got about 20 games left, so 3/4 of the season is done. And, we picked up Daniel Winnick, who got his first point as a Penguin in his first game on Sunday against the Blue Jackets, playing against his ex-teammate David Clarkson, who was traded a day after him to the Blue Jackets in a crazy deal by the Leafs that no one saw coming, but it was just sheer brilliance. And I love the Daniel Winnick acquisition. I love how he threw Zach Still in there too, because LOL Leafs, that's funny. I mean, it makes sense for the Leafs because he won't go to they don't have to call up a young kid from the minors, but he's pretty bad. It's hilarious. And we gave up a 2nd-round pick next year, so not this year, which is good. It's not till next year, and the draft is not as deep next season. So, I'm glad we at least have our 2nd-round pick this year. Maybe we can even look to trade up into the 1st round, because even though we are a win now team, we do have a limited amount of picks. We haven't picked in the 1st round, I think, since 2012 when we had 2 picks. And that is becoming a bit of an issue. And, I mean, you do build teams through the draft. And while we have a lot of strong defensive prospects, we're kind of thin on forward. And we could really use a prospect on forward by drafting them. So the lack of 1st-round picks is a bit concerning. But hopefully next year we'll keep ours and we won't trade it. So Penguins look real good right now on a 4-game winning streak. Gino is just tearing it up. He now has 3 straight games of getting at least 3 points. He's actually using Derek Pouliot's stick. His 2 backhand goals against Florida, he got using Derek Pouliot's stick, and then his last game against Columbus, he also scored a backhand using Derek Pouliot's stick, so that's pretty funny. Crosby's tearing it up in the power play. He's not doing so well even strength-wise, but on the power play he looks really good. Letang continues to tear it up. Giordano's now out for the year, which could open the door for Letang to win the Norris, and he really deserves it. He's been the best defenseman in the league all season, and I know I've said that repeatedly, but it is so true. There has not been a better D-man in the league, and no one deserves it more than him. The Penguins' power play is finally clicking again. We beat one of the best teams in the league in St. Louis. The game against Columbus was totally dominant. We did give up the late goals, which I did not like. The shorthanded goal, which has got to stop. That's a bit of an issue. But the Penguins look real good right now. They are playing some great hockey, and they'll probably go to another slump soon. I mean, they've been very inconsistent all year. They've been very up and down, but the Penguins are finally healthy again. Christian Ehrhoff looks like he's going to be okay, although he does have symptoms. He did sit out the game against Columbus, but he played against Washington. So I hope he's going to be okay. However, he's back on the IR, so we'll see what happens. Daniel Winnick looked great his first game as a Penguin. I loved his pass to Steve Downey to get the goal. Columbus, that was just beautiful. Crosby's turning it on. He looks great in the power play. They're finally getting some depth scoring to their lineup now that they have a competent bottom six with Daniel Winnick and Zach still gone. They can scratch Craig Adams finally, which I've been waiting for so long. And they have a bottom six, even though they still have a player like Brandon Sutter on there and Max Lapierre, when they could have been Marcel Gotch. Their center depth needs something to be desired. It's still a lot better than it was even a couple weeks ago. So things are looking positive, and like Jim Rutherford said, I think we have as good of a chance as anyone is making playoffs. An article came out the other day saying that Crosby, Malkin, and Letang all think Fleury is the Penguins' MVP this season. I would argue that it's been Letang. He's been the most consistent player. He's leading all defensemen in points per game. There's not been a more dominant player for the Penguins than Letang. When they've needed him to step up, he's stepped up. Fleury has been a little bit iffy in some games. He's been a bit inconsistent. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Who do you think's been their MVP? Who do you think's been a runner-up? And yeah, so please like this video, subscribe if you really like it. Let me know what you think of the acquisition of Daniel Winnick, the trade deadline acquisitions. I'll make a video about that too, though, later on. And look forward to seeing you tonight when we have the Battle of Cole Harbor Part 2 this season. Nathan McKinnon and Sidney Crosby facing off in Denver. Two players, both from the same town, drafted first overall. Pretty amazing story. All right, see you then.